sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time. We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Never before have we seen a president of the free world or of the Western world elicit such divisive, condemning laws within his term. Now, Trump has only been in power legally since January the 20th, I believe. So I decided to take a look at some energy around him via remote viewing. Now, most of you will have heard of the remote viewing perspective in life. It's when you can focus in on something that is at a distance and get a feel for the energy around it. So I believe that Trump has a higher chance of being assassinated or an attempts of assassination upon him than any of the recent presidents of America in particular, and possibly even more than any of the major leaders around the globe at the moment. So with that in mind, I took myself via remote viewing into and around the Trump Tower area of New York. Well, that is where I got taken, we should perhaps say. So in my vision in the remote viewing particular period of time, when I designated that set time and moved into the remote viewing realm, I came across these two people marching very firmly up the road that the Trump Tower building is on, which I believe is 5th Avenue. So outside, about half a kilometre from 5th Avenue, there appeared to be these two people walking with a very determined pace, like almost a march, and they were dressed rather peculiarly. They were tall people and they looked like twins, so they looked very similarly dressed, and they had very short shorts on, and long legs, and sort of boots, like not army boots, but boots that you might wear in the colder months of the year, so sort of not quite up to your knees but above your ankles. And then on their tops they were kind of red and white t-shirts, but not shirts, and they were t-shirts, I guess, and they looked to be women from a distance, but when you focused more on these characters, they then appeared to perhaps be men dressed as women. And they were marching along 5th Avenue and nobody was particularly taking any notice of them. They were moving at quite a rapid pace, and they turned they turned left into Trump Tower, and they walked straight through the foyer area and over to the lift shaft. Now at some point here they seemed to merge into one, so the two seemingly became one. And it was at that point that I thought to myself, I don't think these are women, I think this is a man dressed as a woman. So it gave off that type of energy or synergy, as if there were two people that looked very alike that then turned into one, and what you might have thought were women originally could very well have been men dressed as women. They hopped in the lift and they went up to a very high floor, and they got off the lift and they walked straight to this big door and knocked on the door, and Trump was behind the door, sitting behind his desk, which was quite a long way away from the door, and he yelled out, "Yes, come in." So it was almost as if these people were expected, or that they had no trouble getting into the area where the president was. So this guy walked in, or this person, in this quite bizarre outfit, and Trump looked up and said, "So what's going on? Who are you? What is this about?" And the guy turns around and he just says, "Trump, you're fired." And he pulls out something out of his pants, like his shorts or his t-shirt area, and I believe it was a gun, not a knife, but I wasn't entirely sure. It could have been a knife or a gun, and then he proceeded to attempt to kill Trump. So it was quite graphic what I saw, and quite weird. And I did this particular remote viewing session around about mid-February. So I hadn't decided to upload it for quite a while, thinking, well, you know, it is what it is. I'm not sure if it has much value. But just recently in Washington, outside the White House, I believed a man had made ingress into the grounds of Parliament, of the Parliament buildings, and he was attempting to, or thinking of attempting to, assassinate Trump. So I then thought, well, perhaps I will upload this video and see if anything else is occurring with those type of energies in mind. So this is just one of many remote viewing incidences we can all do or look into with Trump and see where he is headed and what type of outcome is out there for him. I mean, obviously nobody wants to see anyone assassinated for any reason. I think if he curtails his divisiveness and his attitude a little bit, some of his policies will make sense. So I guess we just all have to wait and see how long does he last. So anyhow, guys, thanks for tuning in for that, and we will take note of it and hope that it doesn't happen. Okay, thanks all. Take care.